Is everything okay? Did somebody came pick up the rocks yet or no?
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me? Anyone? Anyone out there? We're supposed to officially start in 8 minutes. So, um, so can anyone hear me, or can you guys already hear me? Or maybe my mic isn't working. Also, feel free to unmute yourself if you wish. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Oh, hey, I see one. Cool, thanks. Of course, we'll wait for everyone else to show up before we actually officially get started, but so far, does anyone have any kind of questions at all about the material or anything? Okay. Today has to actually be kind of short, and I'll like tell everyone else when they get here as well. But so hopefully we'll finish. Hopefully this won't get too long. But if it gets to a certain point, we may have to cut short, and it's because I'm really sorry. This is actually my fault. Because my dog ran away yesterday, and the shelter called, and so I had to go pick the dog up. I guess the shelter has appointments, and they put me on a schedule, and they said at a certain time, that's the only time I can come and get her. So I have to be there by 2:45 to get the dog. So I know this may or may not get in our way because we're just reviewing for the quiz. But if you guys have a lot of questions or anything like that, then it might make us cut the whole thing short a little bit. And so just in case, I just want to let you guys know not to panic. And we can always do another session. You guys can email me. We can just do anything else to help you guys get that information in. Just so you guys know. I hope that doesn't make anyone mad. The latest, I think, when the latest that this whole session can go really will be about 45 minutes. Because I will have to cut it, I will have to leave or stop everything by 2:15. So I hope that is okay, and I hope we can get everything in by then, but if not, then we'll do something else. 4 minutes. Anyone have any questions? Grading or the material or anything like that? Or is everything going smoothly? Are you guys able to get everything along pretty well? Okay. Great. I think I have to get up for a second.
Oh, we're back. How you doing? You can just sit for the rest. Come back. Is that okay? All right, thank you.
What's the time? 2 more minutes. I'm gonna set the mood here.
Where should you put your money? People ask me all the time.
Okay, it's 1:30. Let's start. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that I'm really sorry, but we may or may not have to cut this being short a little bit. I'm not sure how long this is going to last or how long our Kahoot is going to take. There are only 20 questions in the review today, so we'll see how much time we actually need, and it also depends on how much time or you guys may require if you guys have questions. But if it goes past 2:15, I'm going to have to cut it short. But we can always, if you guys need to, we can make up for this as well, or anyway, we'll just, if you guys need me just to answer quick questions through email, or I can host another Zoom meeting later on today or even tomorrow if you guys need it, or just like as an optional one, just for anyone who feels like they need it. It's just that right now, my dog ran away and the shelter has it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's at the shelter right now. They called this morning, and I guess they have rules now, or I'm guessing this is the COVID thing, but they put you on like they make you have like an appointment that they will set for you to go and pick your dog up. So I have to be there by 2:45. So just letting you guys know, but for anyone else who requires extra time or anything like that, we can always make this up. Just let me know what you need from me.
Professor, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Are you going to send out like a clarification on what exactly you're looking for with the research paper, like some topic ideas? Because my group's kind of like all over on what the thought is on what you're looking for on the research paper.
Okay, yeah. Well, usually since this research paper is due more towards the end
Right. Yeah.
of the quarter, I usually go over this around midterm time.
Got it.
But yeah, probably actually midterm time is coming up. So probably within like maybe later this week or next week, I'll be giving you guys a lot more information on the research projects. And that's also when I'm going to need to start getting you guys into groups and everything like that. So we'll take more action as it starts to, come. So 1 second, I do need to go over here for real quick. And then after that, we're gonna start our Kahoot. Unless anyone has any questions about the material before we get started, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into our Kahoot, okay? But just give me 1 second. Okay, everybody, are we ready to do the Kahoots? I'm gonna go ahead and admit these people. Unless anyone has any questions before we get started. Anything? Okay, so by 2:15, we definitely have to cut it short, but since it looks like no one really has anything that they wanna address before, right now, let's just go ahead and get started on the Kahoot, and we might finish everything before I even need to cut it short. So everything might work out perfectly, but we'll see how it is. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen and we will get started. Let me find it. Where you at? Okay, here we go. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing that we did last time. Do you guys remember how that worked? When you sign in, when you go ahead and register yourself for this game, you're gonna use your ID number, okay? So that's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started right now and you guys can start registering. Okay. Okay, so Is there anyone else trying to join? Are we all good? Because it looks like this number has been quite stable at 13 for a while. Is there anyone trying to get in? Looks like we have 16. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start this, but if anyone gets kicked out at all or anything like that, you can always refresh it, and I believe that doesn't really mess with your spot. Also, the web address is up here, the Kahoot.it, and then the pin is here, and that is always going to be written like at the bottom of the screen, I believe, in the game, so that you can always go ahead and jump right back in. All right, go everybody. Doing really well. Good job, you guys. You're off to a really great start. Almost everyone. Good job. Everybody. Good job, everyone. Okay, so the different types of telemedicine. Remember, there are two different types. There was synchronous, and then there's asynchronous. Okay, so the synchronous is when you're doing, you're providing, you know, medication, services, treatments, whatever you're doing to your patient remotely, okay, but it's in real time, okay? It's happening in real time. You're doing this together. You might not be in the same room together, but you're working on your health, your treatment together at the same time, okay? The asynchronous is when you're not doing it in real time, okay? So maybe you could have submitted, you know, imaging, x-rays, or, you know, anything like that and it could have been sent off over to your physician. And so when they look at it and they diagnose you or they study you or figure out what's going on with you, it's not in real time. Okay, they're not doing this together. You're not on the phone together. You're not, you know, doing things like that together with your health. It's going to be, you know, at different times. Okay. So that's the difference between synchronous and asynchronous. So yeah, no simultaneous, no analogous. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Do you guys remember what the AMA is? The AMA was the American Medical Association. So that was that kind of original physicians club that was founded in the pre-industrial era. Well, in the post-industrial era, the early 1900s, it really blew up. Okay, they became organized and very powerful, and they started influencing the way that healthcare delivery works in America. And they almost, it's really due to them the way it's like shaped. Okay, so they've always been against the idea of a national health insurance system. And one main reason why they've always been against this is because what they want physicians to do is to become entrepreneurs. They want physicians to not work for anybody. Okay, and if you have a national health insurance system, what's going to happen? All the physicians are going to be working for the government. Okay, and so they do not want that to happen. They do not want physicians to be working on a government salary. They don't want the government to tell the physicians how they can practice or who can own a hospital or their own, things like that. So they want to keep healthcare in the private sector and allow the physicians to kind of be able to be their own boss and to run it and practice the way that they wish to practice. So that was the whole reason why they're like, no, we are not letting the government take over our thing. Okay? So the AMA has always been against national health insurance. All right. All right, very good. Okay, so the reason why implementing supply-side rationing would not drive innovation or diffusion of medical technology is because when you implement supply-side rationing, you're like putting limits on the amount of technology that's allowed to be developed. Okay, you're putting limits on it. You're not allowing, companies and physicians and facilities and whatnot to utilize a lot of resources. You're not allowing research and development to, innovate and develop new technologies or as many as, they wish to do. And this typically happens in those countries that have a national health insurance system, because those countries are completely run by the government and they survive only on the government's budget. Okay, so the government is only going to have so much money, so much resources, and it's going to be difficult for them to allocate everything, and they're not really it's not feasible for everyone to be able to research, develop, innovate everything that they want to do. Okay, so that's one thing that America has that other countries don't, we don't have those type of regulations. So they basically don't put limitations or barriers on our research, development, our innovation, okay, of medical technology. Other countries use supply-side rationing, and that puts barriers on how much they can develop and put out there, and all the new innovations that they can do with medical technology. So I hope that makes sense. So if we were to have a supply-side rationing policy here, then that would not drive innovation and diffusion in medical technology. It would hold it back. Okay. Good job. All right, very good. Very good, everybody. Beautiful. Good job. All right, it's very good. So we know, okay, developing countries, and then there are developed countries. We are a developed nation. So, and this whole healthcare workforce crisis, basically what's happening is that you have developing countries who are losing healthcare professionals because many of their healthcare professionals who are highly educated, they they can do a lot of things. They're in great demand in a lot of other developed nations, and they recognize that their expertise can get them paid. They can put them in a better living situation. They'll have a better quality of life if they leave and go to another, go to a developed country. So what's happening is many of these developing countries, they're losing a lot of their healthcare professionals. Okay, so now they don't have a lot of the healthcare resources and whatnot that they actually, that their country, you know, fostered, that their country produced. Okay, and they're losing them. And then you have developed countries, on the other hand, who are just gaining professionals and who are moving on up, and you know, better things are happening. So who suffers and who faces a greater challenge in this whole healthcare workforce crisis? The developing countries. Okay, they have way less healthcare professionals than what they actually need compared to developed countries. Okay. All right, very good. Good job, everybody. All right, very good. Yes, remember Medicaid. If you have Medicaid, that's insurance. It's public insurance. Okay, so you're definitely insured. Ew, what's an osteopath? Gross. Very good. You guys know what an osteopath is. Okay. Good job. Last question. The United States controls the diffusion of medical technology through central planning. You guys, no, it does not. The United States has some regulation, but it's not through central planning. It's mostly through organizations like the FDA. Okay, and then they'll have some kind of regulation program of how they allow medical technology to enter society and to be distributed, but usually those regulations really only have to do with safety. So there's no actual central planning. It's not like compared to Canada or the UK, where the government has to use central planning to figure out, okay, what resources do we have? How much money do we have? Okay, let's figure out what technologies we can get, we can develop or invest in and things like that. So we don't have that type of regulation at all, not even close. We are not there. We don't have central planning with our government. So really the regulation that we do have, like I said, it most of it is geared towards safety, and the government has other side organizations like the FDA that will regulate that kind of stuff, and it's really just to determine how safe is it to put on the market. Okay. So moving on, that was our last question. Who won? Okay. Yay! Good job, everybody. Let's see who our top 5 are. Those are our top 5. There we go. Good job, you guys. Does anyone have any questions about any of the material? How are we doing? You guys are good? So everyone's just fine and dandy. You got everything you needed and we're all gonna get A's? I mean, that's the case. Yeah, totally cool. That's great. I'm glad. Thank you guys so much. I would love to see that. I'm sure you guys are gonna do really well because you pretty much aced every question on that whole review. So I'm not really worried about you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys will do really well. But if anyone does have any questions about the material, you're gonna need a little bit of help before you start your quiz, please go ahead and email me. And this is automatically recording, so like just exactly what happened last time, I'm gonna go ahead and put this out there as soon as it's like converted into MP4 form. I'm gonna put it out there. You guys are all gonna have access just like last time. So, I mean, if you feel like you're definitely gonna wanna review this, I would wait before I take the quiz. You have, I believe, what is it, 4 days or 5 days? It should tell you on there. But it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing that happened last time. Even your quiz format and how it's going to work, you have the same amount of time, 60 minutes, and you're going to also have 20 questions, true, false. So it's really the same stuff, same structure. And of course, after you're finished, I suggest that you go back and look and see which ones that you got wrong so that you can do quiz corrections if that's what you want to do. I think that's all. So, I think we're good. Are we? Does anyone have any questions at all? Anything? Any concerns? Nothing? All right, so hang on one second. I need to do one thing. And then I will let you guys go. Let me just make sure that I am able to get everyone's attendance. Okay. All right, so if we're good to go, then I guess we're good to go. And I didn't even need to tell you guys about my dog story. So sorry. But thank you guys for being understanding anyway. And good luck on your quiz. And again, if you guys need help with the material, you can go ahead and shoot me an email. So
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.